Hello, happy crocheters. This is Lindsay from windingrowcrochet.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this absolutely beautiful Spice Market blanket. For this blanket, you're going to need medium weight yarn, and I'll share the amounts in just a moment. We're going to need a size J crochet hook, yarn needle, and scissors. In this video, I'm going to provide you the information you need for 11 different size blankets, and you can find the size dimensions on the screen or in the written pattern. Of course, every size blanket's going to need a different amount of yarn. You're going to need anywhere from 2 skeins of yarn to 33 skeins of yarn depending on the size you are making, and you can find the yarn needed on the screen or in the written pattern. Last but definitely not least, this is a large project and you are going to want to check your gauge. Our gauge is 13 half double crochet worked in the back loop only, and 9 rows equals 4 inches. All right, now that we have all that information out of the way, let's get started by making a slip knot and inserting our hook. We are going to make our starting chain. I am making a small sample size, but I'm putting up the starting chain on the screen. For the stroller blanket, you're going to need 97 chains. For the baby blanket, 130, the toddler blanket, 136, the lapgan, 118, small throw, 169, large throw, 196 chains, twin bed, 196, the full size and the queen size are both 292 chains, king size is 352, and the California king size is 370 chains. Once your starting chain is complete, we are simply going to half double crochet into the second chain from the hook and half double crochet in each stitch across. Right now, and for the first 7 rows, we are working the bottom border of our blanket. When you reach the end of row 1, we are going to chain 1 and turn. Our turning chain does not count as a stitch. And for row 2, we are going to half double crochet, but this time in the back loop only. So we are going to yarn over, insert our stitch into the very center of the top of the last stitch, and out the back so that we are only under 1 strand of yarn. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through all the loops on the hook. That is working in the back loop only. Again, we're going to yarn over, go down the center of the stitch, in between those 2 threads, out the back, yarn over and pull up a loop. For row 2, we are going to half double crochet in the back loop only all the way across. We are also going to work the exact same row until we have a total of 7 rows. When you reach the end of row 2, we will chain 1 and turn our work and repeat row 2 by working a half double crochet in the back loop only of every stitch across, and continue repeating row 2 until you have a total of 7 rows. Once you completed the first 7 rows, that is our bottom border. Now, when we work, we're going to begin the row with working our side border first, our middle texture, and then end the row with our side border. So for row 8, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We are going to start by working back loop only half double crochets in the first 10 stitches. Once you have 10 half double crochets worked in the back loop only, now we are going to double crochet in the back loop only, not all the way across, but until we reach the last 10 stitches. So your whole middle section of your blanket will be worked as back loop only double crochets. And of course, depending on your blanket size, will depend on how many you need to work. So just keep working double crochets in the back loop only until you reach your last 10 stitches. When you reach the last 10 stitches, we're going to work half double crochets in the back loop only of the last 10 stitches. The last 10 stitches and the first 10 stitches of the row are our side border. Now, if you find that you have a large gap at the edge of your crochet and you don't like that, you can always work the first and the last stitch under both loops. It didn't bother me at all, but if it bothers you, that's how you can fix it. Moving on to row 9. Row 9 and 10 are our 2 repeat rows. We are going to chain 1 and turn our work. And then to begin, we are going to work 10 half double crochets in the back loop only. That is the first of our side border. For the middle texture, we're going to begin with a front post double crochet. Then we're going to work a repeat pattern that is double crochet, and then front post double crochet. And we are going to repeat this pattern all the way across the row until we are at our last 10 stitches. So to get started, we're going to work a front post double crochet by going around the stitch, coming in from one side and out the other, pull up our loop and create our double crochet. Then simply double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So 1 double crochet and then another double crochet, and then followed by a front post double crochet, going around the side of the stitch into the back, back to the front, yarn over, pull through our loop, and create a double crochet. Now you're just going to repeat this stitch pattern, double crochet, front post double crochet, all the way across the row until you have 10 stitches remaining unworked. When you reach your last repeat, you will end with a front post double crochet. And then we are ready to work our side border, which is, of course, 10 half double crochets in the back loop only. So we've reached the end of row 9. This is the first row in a 2-row repeat. So now we're going to do row 10, and we're just going to repeat row 9 and 10 until your project is as long as you like. To start row 10, we're going to chain 1 and turn, work our side border, which is 10 half double crochets worked in the back loop only. Once we're done with the first 10, we're going to begin the middle section by working a double crochet first, and then a stitch pattern that is 2 front post double crochets followed by a double crochet, and then you'll simply repeat that all the way across the row. So to get started, we are going to start with a double crochet, then our stitch pattern that is 2 front post double crochets. So 1 front post double crochet, followed by a second front post double crochet, and ending the repeat with a double crochet. And then you're simply going to repeat 2 front post double crochets, 1 and 2, followed by a normal double crochet. And repeat this all the way across the row until you only have 10 stitches remaining. When you make it to your last 10 stitches, before the last 10, our last stitch should be a double crochet to end the last repeat. And then we're just going to half double crochet in the back loop only of the last 10 stitches. Once we complete row 10, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And now what we will do is we will continue alternating rows 9 and 10. I will put a timestamp up on the screen if you need to jump back to the beginning of row 9. But after a while, it should become a really easy pattern to repeat. This is what our project looks like once you've repeated rows 9 and 10 several times over, and you can see how we get that beautiful waffle stitch in the center of the blanket. How many times you repeat rows 9 and 10 depends on the size of blanket you are creating. For the stroller blanket, you need to work until you have a total of 72 rows. The baby blanket, it's 83 rows. The toddler blanket, 110 rows. The lapgan, 101 rows. Small throw will be 128 rows at this point. Large throw is 155. Twin and full size is 196. Queen and king size will be 234 rows, and the California king size is 254 rows at this point. And the easiest way to count your rows is to count up the border rows, or you're more than welcome to just measure your blanket and stop when you are 3 inches short of your desired blanket height. Now we just need to complete the top border rows. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work, and all 7 border rows are exactly the same. We are going to simply half double crochet all the way across, working in the back loop only. So just working in the back loops, we are going to half double crochet across the first 10 stitches, which is our side border, but then continue that half double crochet along the top of the center section of our blanket. When we reach the end of the row, you can see how we've worked all the way across. We're just going to chain 1 and turn and repeat top border row 1 6 more times. So we'll have a total, and all we are doing is half double crocheting in each stitch across, working in the back loop only for an additional 6 rows. So here you have it. We've worked our 7 top border rows and our project is complete. All you need to do at this point is to fasten off and weave in your yarn ends. And this is the front of our project. So I really hope you enjoyed this crochet blanket tutorial. I hope you don't mind that I just made a small sample. And if you have any questions at all about the yarn amounts or anything else, please ask in the comments below and I will get back to you. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy crocheting!